Hello, all. Thanks again for joining me on Patricia's Posh Life. I'm here in my posh pad up in the remote part of the North Georgia mountains, loving life, enjoying this day, which is now cooling down. It gets pretty hot here in August in Georgia. So I wanted to talk to you about a wonderfully posh experience I had today. A little bit of spoiler alert. I'm kind of ruining it already, but that's okay. But I want to talk to you about a place called Wildflower Cafe in Mentone, Alabama. Let me spell Mentone for you. Mentone, just so you'll have an easy time finding it. So, as you may or may not be familiar, my Posh Points scale is roughly a total of 50 points, are the potential score that a place or an event or a store could achieve. And today I wanted to talk to you about Wildflower Cafe. My husband and I went there today to eat some lunch. We'd heard so many wonderful things about this place. And so let's start with the first category of service. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal service. As soon as we walked in the door, the owner, Moon, greeted us. The place is just amazing when you walk in. And she greeted us, asked us our names, talked to us, commented on our outfits. Where are you coming from? I mean, she just engaged us immediately upon coming into the restaurant. And that is just a such a nice feeling, right? Not a lot of people do that. Usually it's like, hi, how many? Table for two, walk this way. Oh, it was on like Donkey Kong. As soon as we walked in, and they just welcomed us with open arms, and that was so. Out of 10, I'm going to give them definitely a 10. And then also in terms of service, we had a wonderful waitress, and her name was Miracle of all things, and she was kind enough to share her life story with us, parts of it, and she truly is a miracle. It was amazing, all of the things and how she was born, and just some experiences from her family. And she just did such a wonderful job with us. Also, my husband has a lot of allergies, and so she was very cognizant of that, and also did a few different things for me that I requested, kind of special order, and that was very nice. And so they have a sign when you walk into the restaurant, basically, this is quality food and it's made to order, and this is not fast food. And so we knew that we were going to have a little bit of wait, but I thought that was great that they actually just let you know up front, hey, this is a little slower experience. Sit back, enjoy, and we totally took advantage of that. Another cool thing that they did was they have it's a little hard to explain. So they have glass tabletops, but underneath the glass tabletop is paper. And so what they did was they actually wrote the Wi-Fi password on the tablecloth, and I mean, just so many things that were just made your experience so much easier, so much just immediately. If you wanted to get on your phone, whatever, which we don't really do that, but I mean, it's just a nice touch instead of having to ask somebody, hey. And it is a casual restaurant. Let me emphasize that as well. And then one thing that I also loved, which I thought reflected the whole mentality of the restaurant, was that they list desserts first. Isn't that great? I love that. And so I got a slice of Derby pie inside waiting for me when I finish this video. So I'm excited to eat that. So service, 10 out of 10. Lovely, lovely. They greeted us when we came in, and as we were leaving, one of the girls said to me, which is one of my favorite sayings, have a magical day. And that is a very special saying to me for a lot of reasons I'm not going to explain here. So next category is ambiance. This particular restaurant is a very historical part of Mentone. It is a very artistic community. There is art all over the walls, everywhere you turn. They have a small little store in the lobby that features very artistic jewelry and other items that are just these one of a kind items. And it it was just amazing. And it's on top of that, it is a historic home. There's a lot of things that happened in this particular small town, which is about 10-15 minutes from where I live. And so it was so interesting. On the back of the menu, they actually went through and listed some of the features, not only of the home, but of events that had happened in Mentone. And so again, it just made the ambiance of the whole restaurant that much more interesting. And it is I don't even know how to describe how it's decorated. Like it's like fairies meet hippie meet southern style food. So it was just so cool. I loved it. I loved it. So different, so unique. You're not going to find a lot of places like this. So let me move on to the probably the tagline to the service side of it, and that is the quality. So, as I mentioned before, my husband has a ton of allergies that are very unusual. I have an unusual allergy to chicken, of all weird things. And so they were very cognizant of that. But not only that, the quality of the food, you could tell that it was very good meat, fresh vegetables. It is somewhat of a simple menu, and I mean simple in terms of just the offerings. There's not a lot of, fancy French dishes or anything like that. It's just really good, basic vegetables, meats, quiches, sandwiches, but everything in my husband did not get sick. And so for me, everybody goes up on my scale when they don't make my husband sick, right? And I don't have to go to the emergency room or something crazy like that. Value for the money. Sorry. Quality is 10. Quality is definitely on 10. The just the taste of everything, it was very fresh, not so heavily seasoned with artificial seasonings and all this processed stuff that a lot of restaurants use. So 10 out of 10 on the quality. Value, again, the food is, in my opinion, and I know value is probably the most subjective category in the Posh Point system, because it just depends on your economic stance. Um, I thought the cafe was very reasonable. We both got several items that we ate for lunch, and then we got dessert to go. And our bill was just a tiny bit over $50, which to me is amazing. And we both got drinks, like a tea or a coffee, that kind of thing. And so I just loved it. Posh Factor, just on the terms of the uniqueness of the place and how much love and kindness, and I really, I'm not over exaggerating. They just treated us with love. I asked for some mushroom gravy for one of my dishes, and they said, well, we don't really have that, but what we have is a mushroom soup, and we have one serving left, and you could actually use that as a gravy for your meat. And I said, oh, that sounds wonderful. I'll do that. Yes, please. And I heard the owner herself go back to the kitchen and say, hey, immediately, no more soup. Like, this lady out here called me by my name. Patricia out here in the cafe has ordered this. So no more. Don't sell anymore. It's hers. That last dish is hers. I mean, wow, right? Just the little things. It's always just the little things. And so my Posh Factor, just getting to know Miracle, the fact that her name was Miracle, wow. And there's wildflowers everywhere. There's art. There's just the uniqueness and the history. I completely, totally give it a 10. So total Posh Point score for the Wildflower Cafe in Mentone, Alabama was a perfect 50. That's that's high praise coming from me because I'm usually a little bit picky on stuff. And my husband and I had a lovely time, and we are going back next weekend. And we're going to take some friends there so that they can have a posh experience with us. So thanks for joining me for this segment of Posh Points, and let me know, do you have a place that needs to be Posh Point rated? Let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for joining me. I sincerely, sincerely appreciate you guys listening to my messages and my videos and just embracing me and embracing the concept of the posh life. And I look forward to talking to you next time. And take care. Give yourself a posh experience before you go to sleep tonight. Take care.